Selamat sejahtera and good morning, everyone, from colleagues from UUM and maybe we have participants from outside UUM as well. Welcome to this webinar this morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Shabani and UTLC, UUM, for giving me this opportunity to share the session with you this morning. I don't know. In the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, there have been so many webinars or seminars, workshops, online workshop, and so on. And I'm surprised to see there are still quite a number of participants this morning joining the session. I thought some of you probably feeling overwhelmed with so many online webinar recently. But I guess this is the situation now. Every one of us, including myself, have to learn new things so that we are well prepared to go online and to deliver our deliver our course, transitioning from face-to-face to online in a smooth manner, and deal with the issues that arise as we go along. Okay. Let me share the screen. Right. This is the title for this morning session: Remote Teaching for Learners with Low Bandwidth Access. I have actually a video that I've recorded and I've uploaded to YouTube a few days ago. So actually everything that I'm going to cover today, there's also a similar version on YouTube. And of course, today the session will also be recorded. And all the PowerPoint slides that I'm going to share will be made available to you at the end of this presentation on the last slide. And I'm going to share also a lot of resources for you. And everything will be given to you on the PDF version of the PowerPoint. And you can actually access the links on the link to the resources on the PDF document later after the session. Okay. Basically, today these are the two things that I want to cover. I will start first by giving you the perspective of why we are talking about preparing our online course for low bandwidth. Yeah? So I want to share some data from the state of our digital or ICT internet connection. So this is the first part I want to share with you: digital in Malaysia, the state of the digital and internet penetration in Malaysia. And then the rest of this presentation, I'm going to share some ideas that perhaps some of these ideas you can adopt and adapt in preparing, in designing, planning and designing and delivering your online course. I am by no means an expert, okay? So I'm not teaching, I'm not showing that I know everything, but I'm still learning myself. So today is basically sharing. And I'm not going to show step-by-step, like a tutorial how to do things, because the resources that I'm going to share with you will be made available, and those will show you step-by-step of how to do certain things. So you can watch those videos or resources after the session. Okay. First thing first, let me start with asking you to do a short survey here. There are only 5 questions. So I hope all of you don't mind to respond. Just go to this link. This is actually a Google form. And this is actually the first test, not test per se, to show you one example of what we call a low bandwidth kind of activity that the students can do and that we can design for them. Only 5 questions, and please be very honest and sincere when you answer the questions. Yeah. So that's the address. Okay. So I will wait for. I'll give you like a few minutes. Should be a very quick one. Then we will see the. So I just give 1 more minute for the participants to respond. All right. So let me go to the website and look at the. Okay, we have about 80 something response. I saw the list of participants just now around 300. So let's wait for another 2 minutes. I hope everyone can respond. So let's make this session interactive a little bit. Actually, this is the only activity that you have to do. Well, maybe one or two more. Most of the time, this is really more like teacher-centered kind of approach today. This is actually a 5-question survey, and I have designed the questions to get some ideas of out of the 300 participants we have in the session today. How many of you actually have been doing online learning or blended learning before this MCO thing? How many of you are feeling comfortable? How many of you, still struggling? So these are the information that I think a good baseline data that actually we should collect from all the academic staff at the university. In USM, actually, these are some of the things that we ask our staff because we want to know their state of readiness to embark on full online course. Okay, so yeah, about 200 now. Let's see another minute if you don't mind, because it's good if we can get as many as possible to respond, so that we can get some ideas, in terms of our readiness into online learning or online teaching or remote teaching, whatever you want to call it. I'm not so worried about the terminology actually, but I have 2 or 3 slides to discuss about the difference between online learning or online teaching or remote teaching. Yeah, you can see Prof. Faiza online. Thank you, Prof. Faiza, for joining. All right, let's look at the response, whatever that we have so far. We have 200, based on 216, yeah, it's keep coming. Have you been a student in any online course? Well, so far we can see about 60% have been a student in online course. Why I ask these questions? Because if you have been a student in any online course, and preferably you have completed at least one online course, then you have experience from the student side. Then this is where we have the empathy is very important, because when we plan and design our online class or online course, the element of empathy is very important. Always consider about the students. How would they access the course, whether they have the necessary device, the necessary connectivity. All those factors need to be factored in, need to be considered. But if you have experience as a student taking any course, maybe on Coursera, on those other online platform, then we understand from the student perspective, and that actually would help us a lot to design our own online course, because we now start to think in the student's shoe, how they would how would they how would they kind of follow our course and understand their issues that might arise later. So about 60%, about 41% here have not been a student in online course. So I think we need to be more careful here, because we have not experienced as a student, online student here. Yeah. Okay, second question here: have you designed and delivered a complete online course? I'm not talking about the blended learning. Those the thing that all of us probably have done before. Our face-to-face course, we also have the online version of it. on our learning platform, on our LMS. But there is the blended learning. It's not really fully online, a full online course. So I can see here only about 17% have designed a complete design and deliver or conduct a complete online course. Majority perhaps has not much experience here. So we know where we start from, in terms of experience here. Okay, before MCO, I'm a big fan of, this is actually a statement, yeah? Before MCO, I'm a big fan of e-learning or online learning. All right, I can see about 21% here say yes, yeah? I'm a strong advocate. Yeah, that's include me. I'm a strong advocate of online learning. So anyway, 21% say they are strong advocate, but 77% here, the red color here, well, not really a fan. I just do it to fulfill the blended learning requirements. So Dr. Shah, I think this is a very important data for you. Well, this is probably not all from UUM, meaning that actually about the same thing in the same situation in USM. Before the MCO, a lot of people actually are doing blended learning, kind of terpaksa, they have to do it because they have to do it. It's not really because of they are driven by their own interest, their own passion, because they want to do more and so on. So this is reality, okay? A small percentage here say no. E-learning is not for me, ever. But I'm glad you are here joining the session today, wherever you are. But I hope you will change your mind. I would say that if I say this statement, e-learning or online learning is no longer an option. Maybe some of you might not agree or disagree, but at least from now on, online learning or online education should be part and parcel of our course design. So when we design our course and deliver our course, always keep in mind that online learning can be used to add value. This is a keyword that I want to stress here. It's all about adding value, okay? How you can give the best or better learning experience for your students by combining the face-to-face and online. But now, due to the situation, we are left with very little choice. We have to do online. And therefore, whether we are feeling that we are being forced, we need to learn how to do it in the right manner, okay? Now, so after 3-4 weeks being forced into the situation, how do you feel about online learning now? Okay, 39% say, oh, it's almost indispensable, very useful. Well, I'm glad, about 40% here. So I'm with you. The blue color, I'm with you. I feel that online learning is almost indispensable. What about the red one? 46% here. Well, I think it's quite useful. 46% need to be convinced further. So this is Dr. Shah, this is our job. We have to convince this 46% that it is not only quite useful, it can be extremely useful. If we know how to do it right, okay? If we know how to do it right, how to do it in a meaningful way, how to do it in a purposeful way, and only then we can get the impact, okay? And we have what, 15% here? Well, I still have my reservation. I still have doubt. Don't worry, it's our job, the online learning advocate, to convince you. And I hope today in this session, I can convince you that all of us should now start to do online in a more serious way and learn how to do it well, okay? So some of the concern, what exactly are your concern about e-learning? Well, I think these are the common things. We worry about our own skill. We are worried about readiness. We are worried about the students' readiness. we are worried about the system, we are worried about this, we are worried about that. So, my dear friends, my dear colleagues, it's natural to feel concerned and worried. But if we dwell on that feeling, it doesn't do much for us. We have to move on. Life has to move on. Teaching has to move on, has to carry on. So we have to be strong. And I would like to urge all of us here to stop lamenting, to stop complaining, but just do it. Nike, just do it, okay? So thank you very much for your response. This is very useful. We get the perspective, we get the baseline, we can sense what you feel about doing online learning. So it is this kind of webinar actually is good so that we can share our own feeling about how we should go about and what are the issues and how would we address those issues. Okay. So once again, thank you very much. And that's all for my presentation today. Just joking. I don't want to sound very serious. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Now, I'm sure you have heard this word. This now has become buzzword, remote teaching. All this while we talk about online learning. Now suddenly we have remote teaching. Initially, when I heard about this, when I learned about this term, I don't really like it because I'm the type of person who don't like to dwell on the terminology. But this is the terminology that people use. So we need to understand what is it actually, and is it so much different from online learning? Well, basically, it's partly online learning because we are using online mode. Okay, but we can also use the non-online mode, the offline mode also to reach out people to, remote teaching. Okay, but the basic premise is whether we do remote teaching, whether we do face-to-face, whether we do online, fully online teaching, we need, the bottom line is we need to reach out to everyone, to all our students without fail. No one student would be left out. No one student will be deprived of learning. So the aspect of the issue of equitable transition to online learning. Equitable here, my interpretation is, doesn't mean that everyone will have equal access. How do we get equal access? Some people have a good internet connection, some have poor internet connection, some have no connection at all. But to me, the equitable here is the ability to reach out everyone so that they can also do the learning, equally in terms of getting the learning outcome as set out in the course. So I think I want to give some perspective. The state of digital, so-called digital or the ICT or the internet penetration in Malaysia now, because it is very important before we talk about how do we deliver our online class. I think we need to do some gap analysis here, some need analysis here. This is the first thing that we should look at. What is the status of digital in Malaysia in terms of internet penetration, in terms of the ownership of the devices? How many people have smartphone? How many people have a computer, laptop? How many people have connectivity? How many people are doing social media? Things like this is very important. Then only we can, having this data, we can start to strategize how we should go about in designing, planning, designing, and delivering our online class. So if you want to look at the state of digital in Malaysia, you just go to data reportal here, or just Google digital in Malaysia. And the link also I have given the slide at the end. So when you go here, so I have extracted some data to share with you. So please bear with me because there's very important data that we need to understand so that we get a perspective, we get a big picture, how to go about in planning and designing our online course. So first, as of January 2020, So this is quite recent, digital around the world. In 2020, can see that we have 7.75 billion population. And in terms of urbanization, about 55%. So there's still half of the world population is still, stay in the non-urban area. Now look at the internet users. We have from 7.6 billion, we have about 4.54 billion, which translates into 59% or almost 60% penetration. What does it mean? It means that there are still about 40% of the world population have no direct internet connection. 40%. Okay, what about unique mobile phone users? What is the meaning of unique mobile phone users? It means that at least the person has one mobile device. And we can see here about 5 billion, and that translates into 67% penetration. So this global or the world, around the world, okay? And active social media users, about 3.8 billion, translate into 49% or almost 50% penetration. So this is the big picture in terms of the state of digital around the world. Okay. Now, what about internet penetration by region? So we are interested here, Southeastern Asia, and we are here in this region, and we can see here about 66% penetration overall in the Southeast Asia. So still, the large part of the Southeast Asia is still not yet wired, not yet connected. Okay. Now, this is again, this is another set of data, top messenger apps. Because today, when we talk about high bandwidth and low bandwidth, especially the low bandwidth, the focus of this sharing this morning, we can reach out students using the low bandwidth applications such as WhatsApp or Telegram. These are the two most common ones. And we can see here from this data, the green color in the map is the WhatsApp. The blue color is Skype. The red color here is WeChat, mainly in China. But we are, and Telegram, the data for Telegram is not captured here in this data. So you can see the large part of the world, WhatsApp is actually very popular. But I'm surprised in US, I don't see much WhatsApp application there, you can see here. But we can see the large part of the world is actually using WhatsApp. What is the yellow? The yellow is what? Yeah, here, a little bit of yellow here. They call it line. Can you see the key on the left-hand side of the map? Line. Yes. I know what is line, huh? Yeah.
Line for Thailand. Normally, Thailand use line.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, I never heard of it. But anyway, the most interest to us here is actually the WhatsApp, okay, including Malaysia. Okay. Okay, now let's see mobile connectivity by region. This is actually connection through mobile. And we can see here in Southeast Asia, 135%. Let's say it's quite promising, isn't it? So meaning that we can still reach out our students by using the mobile device, by using the mobile connection. So that's a good or positive aspect looking from this data. Okay, now in Malaysia, just now global. In Malaysia, we have 32 million population. That is one.
Yeah.
There is one.
Yes, Prof. Prof. Yes, Prof.
I just want to ask, the screen you can see as a whole, right? My PowerPoint.
Yeah, yeah.
Yang apa ni, the list of participant dengan chat ni dia block tak?
In my screen it's not blocked.
Oh yeah, you can see the whole, only the PowerPoint ni.
Yeah, yeah. Including
the
chatting, the participant, and also the slide. Everything in my one screen.
Okay, so yeah, in that case, okay. Okay, look at Malaysia. We have 32 billion population, and in terms of internet users, we have about 27 million here, which translates into 83 penetration of internet. So actually not so bad. only 3 or 4 years ago, the penetration is around 75%, 77%. Now, within 2 years, 3 years, we have now about 83%. And I think the growth rate is about 5% every year. And in terms of mobile phone user connection, we have about 40 million, and that translates to 127%. And what about active social media users? About 26 million, 81%. So now, knowing this data, I think it is not so kind of worrying that we are not able to reach. We can reach majority of our students. Okay, that's the main thing. Now, what about the device ownership? You can see 97% has a smartphone. 98% has mobile phone of any type. But the smartphone is 97%. Laptop, about 72%. Okay. What about daily time spent? Yeah, we spend a lot of time, as you can see here, using the internet, about 7 hours, almost 8 hours a day. Watching television now is about 3 hours. Okay. Using the social media. Okay. Overview of internet use. Internet users, 83%, but total number of internet users on any device, about 26 million. Average time spent is that long. In Malaysia, we're talking about Malaysia now. Okay, so here you can see this data in terms of internet users, penetration, internet, how many people has mobile devices and so on. Mobile internet speed, on average, we have about 23.8 or 24 Mbps. That is considered high speed. Okay, that's considered high speed. So, of course, depends on the area, it depends on the location, depends on the state. Okay. Online content activities, what people do, majority watch videos, including myself. Okay, I like to watch video on YouTube. What kind of video? The video that I can learn something from. But I also have a hobby of watching movie trailers. Yeah, so that's including myself also. Yeah, but watch vlogs, listen to music, listen to radio station, listen to podcasts. Listen to podcasts. So when we talk about low bandwidth, you see what the 35% people actually listen to podcasts. Now, podcast is one of the content, the type of content that we can use and categorize as a low bandwidth. Okay, I will talk more about it later. What about social media platform? YouTube and WhatsApp are the top two. So YouTube might have some issue because the students on the low bandwidth might not be able to watch YouTube. And one thing about YouTube, it will consume the data, students' data very fast. So that's why I think for low bandwidth, YouTube might not be the best option. But we have WhatsApp. Okay? And we have also Telegram. But Telegram is not listed on this. So somehow the users, Telegram is not as popular as WhatsApp. Okay. And finally, in terms of the mobile connectivity index, you can see in terms of the consumer readiness, in terms of the mobile connectivity, about 73%. Okay. All right, I can see someone raise their hand, Dr. Fatia. I don't know, maybe you want to ask questions at this point. So, I'm sharing a lot of data here. Why? Because I think it's very important, and maybe you have not seen this data, but this is where we should start from. Because the first thing before we do anything on online course or design our online class, we need to understand our students, know the student first. Knowing the student, including knowing their state of readiness. And the state of readiness here, the first and foremost, whether they are connected to the internet. Then only we can talk about online course, right? If we know that majority has no internet connection, then maybe we need to strategize in a different way. But if majority is actually reachable, we can reach them out, even at a very low bandwidth, very poor connectivity, but still they can have access. Then I think we need to design, use that data or information to design, in certain ways. And those that have no access at all, which probably between 10 to 15%, depending on the location, I think in Sarawak is even higher, then we need to find ways. My focus today is more on those that still have some form of connection, even though very poor. Okay, so when we talk about classification or category of high bandwidth or low bandwidth, what does it mean? So this diagram shows the very rough kind of categorization in terms of speed and BPS. We have 0 to 5 Mbps. This can be considered the low bandwidth. In fact, if the student have up to 5 Mbps, I think we can do the activity and so on online quite easily. Okay, quite easily. But if their speed is 1 Mbps and below, that's to me is a real low bandwidth. And maybe online would have problem. Then maybe we can go for WhatsApp or Telegram and design our lesson based on Telegram or WhatsApp. But I think if on the high side, on the 5 Mbps here, I think still we can do some form of online. But what kind of activities or what kind of content that's we need to decide and be careful. So 0 to 5, what people can do? Stream music from Spotify or Pandora, email, and basic web browsing. As long as they can do some basic web browsing, we can still do online activities using the web browser. Okay, 5 to 14, we can do Skype. If they can do Skype, that's good enough. FaceTime call, play online video game, stream video from Netflix on a single device. 40 to 100 Mbps, stream video from Netflix, YouTube on multiple devices, download large file. 100 to 500 plus Mbps. This is perhaps, I would say, from 5 above, can be considered the high bandwidth. If some of our students are lucky, they are in this category, in the blue or in this 40 to 100 categories. I'm using Uni5 at home. I'm using Uni5 now. And just now I checked the speed. I get around 230 Mbps, 230. I'm happy. But when we design our online course, we should remember this one. Okay? Yeah, someone raised their hand. Well, I should ask you one question just now. How many of you in this kind of band? Yeah, the bandwidth. Which band are you? Okay. I hope you are in at least the second to the third or the fourth one. Yeah. But now today our focus is for students in this bandwidth 0 to 5. Okay, 0 to 5, especially 1 Mbps and lower. That is, to me, the most problematic in terms of to design the online course. Okay. Now, probably we are familiar with the term online learning. Maybe you don't do online learning, but maybe you have heard the term online learning, online teaching, online class for a long time. But now we have this term remote teaching or remote learning. Some people ask me, is it remote teaching or remote learning? So I tell them, forget about it. Don't argue on the terminology, and usually I'm not interested to argue on the terminology. But let me share with you the different school of thought for those who are concerned about meaning. So I'm sharing here how some people define what is online learning, and this from the expert. Yeah, Lynn Lelondi here. He said, I don't think what is happening right now can be or should be considered as online learning or distant education. This is a very strict one school of thought. Online learning should be planned, deliberate, and thoughtful, in the sense that online courses often take months or even years to develop, not days or weeks. Who agree with this statement, with this so-called definition of online learning? Please raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I partly agree. Actually, to design good online learning, really time consuming, really need a lot of thinking process there, and really take time. Yes, good online learning. We are talking about good, engaging, meaningful, impactful online learning. This is the thing. Okay. Okay, let's look at Stephen Downes. Those who are doing online should know him. Stephen Downes, yeah? Downes or Downes. Are we doing online learning? Dia kata, well, he disagree with Clint Lalonde just now. Dia kata apa? Online learning should be fast, fun, crazy, unplanned, and inspirational. So he's the same school of thought dengan Curtis Bong. Curtis Bong kata, online learning should be fast, should be inspiring, should be fun, should be crazy. You know, it should be provided by people, designed by people who are more like DJs than television producers. Television producer semua kena plan, kena ada script, kena, you know. But DJs is just like go and just do it, you know. Go by the flow, go with the flow. So, Stephen Downes said it should move and swim, be ad hoc and on the fly. So we have two school of thought here. To me, doesn't really matter, just do it. So there's something called emergency remote teaching. So some people say that what we are doing now, because suddenly MCO, everyone has to stop doing the face-to-face class, everyone has to go online, whether you have done it before, whether you like it or not, by hook or by crook, you must go online now. Okay, no question asked, go and do it. Okay, so some people say what we are doing now is categorized as an emergency remote teaching or ERT, which simply means an abrupt migration to online learning, a temporary shift of instructional delivery to an alternate delivery mode due to crisis circumstances. Okay, so what we are doing now is emergency remote teaching. But who cares? Who cares? Just do it, as I say. But maybe after all this havoc in the last 3-4 weeks, maybe now it's time for us to start doing more of a proper online learning. More thinking on the design, more thinking on the engagement, more thinking on the proper assessment. Okay, so if you want to read more about this, you can go to this again. The link, you can click the PDF and you can go to the article, the difference between teaching and online learning. Okay. Now, we have less of disruption nowadays because people now understand more and more the protocol and the how to go online, right? But it's okay. Sometimes we get this. Now, if we are talking about online learning, if we do a proper online learning, so we need to adopt a proper approach to online learning. So in general, Prof. Dr. Fazia has actually talked about this and maybe some other speakers. So I don't want to elaborate more on this, but perhaps now you know the meaning of synchronous and asynchronous, right? But knowing that not all of our students have good access to the internet, maybe we should be more careful or do less on the synchronous, but maybe more on the asynchronous. So we have to be mindful, again, looking at the data, that still we have students that have no kind of connection. So when we talk about asynchronous, maybe we need to design the content as well as the learning activities, assessment, everything suitable for the low bandwidth or the low. So, by the way, I don't want to elaborate on the synchronous and asynchronous thing because I think it has been covered by other speaker. Now, let's dive in, and focus now on the low bandwidth. I'm sure you are waiting for me to talk about this, and actually maybe other speakers also have covered this in some aspect of it. But whatever we do, when we start planning and designing our online class or online course, start with the student in mind. Okay, that should be just like we did in our OBE. Start with the end in mind. In our online course, start with the student in mind. That's the basic, the starting point. And remember, when we talk about internet connection, internet connectivity, some of our students can be categorized as having the high access internet connection or high bandwidth. Another group may be less fortunate for whatever reason, depending on where they live, their location. So they might have connection, but very low speed. We are talking about those having 1 Mbps and less. I think if they have 2 Mbps up to 5 Mbps, they can still have, quite comfortable, at least to do whatever through the web browser. Okay, but the least fortunate is the one that has no connection at all. So how do we design for them? Okay, now for my presentation, my focus is more on the first group. On those group that has some connection but very poor or very low bandwidth. Okay, but keep in mind also for those that has no connection, there are also ways how we can deal with them. I will say a little about this towards the end. Yeah. Now, when we plan and design for our online course for low bandwidth group, the first thing, we must know our students. Okay, this one actually for everyone. Before we design, we must know our students. Who are they? Yeah, in terms of demographic, where they come from, where they stay, where are they in terms of location? Because like Professor Fong told me yesterday, in Unimas in Sarawak, about 30%, about 30 or 40% has no connection at all, or very low bandwidth connection. What sort of devices do they use to access e-learning? Okay, majority would have smartphone. Okay, but some probably has a very basic smartphone, very old maybe. What is their learning environment like? Some of them are staying in the apartment where they're staying together with a big family. The environment is not very conducive for them to learn online with the noise, with the those are the things that we need to keep in mind. Know our students. So this is where empathy is very important. I always stress this: empathy. Put ourselves in their situation. So when we design, always remember this: is it too much? Can they access it? Can they download it? All these things need to be asked continuously. So when we design, once we know how many of the group of students in our class, in our course, yeah. Is there any issue? Sorry, my audio is still okay, right?
Okay.
Okay, Prof. Okay.
So ada orang kata tak berapa jelas.
Okey, Prof. Okey. Tadi helikopter terbumbu.
Ya.
Naik masing-masing kot, Prof.
Yang tak jelas tu,
Ada yang guna mobile, ada yang guna wifi.
Oh, okay.
yang
Yeah.
tak jelas tu dia punya line dia memang rendah.
Alright. Okay. Thank you. Saja tanya soalan tu to make sure you're still there. Okay.
Buat benda ni dengan
Okay.
Iya, tak ada siapa masa.
Okay, let me continue. So always consider the lowest. Always consider the lowest denominator, meaning that those students that has the poorest internet connection. So that's why we are talking about low bandwidth here. So know the student. Once we know the student, once we have the data, the second one is now we are ready to plan and design our online course based on the information that we have about our students. So let's rethink your instructional strategy. A lot of us think that suddenly we have to do online course, fully online class. Many of us are not ready. Many of us are probably upset. Many of us are very worried about a lot of things. But to me, let's think positively and take this as an opportunity for us now to try a lot of new things. To me, this is hikmah. This COVID-19 is hikmah in many ways, a blessing in disguise in many ways. This kind of force us to rethink our instructional strategy. For those who have been doing online for a long time, including myself, I take this opportunity now to explore further, explore the boundary, and try to find a more creative way to deliver the course online so that it can reach out to almost everyone, even those with very poor internet connection. So because of that, and because of my duty also as the director of center that responsible for training, I have to explore a lot of things and I have discovered a lot of new things as well. So we need to be creative. We need to be creative. Don't be afraid to be creative here. This is the opportunity really. Okay, rethink our instructional strategy. I cannot emphasize this, more. So yesterday in my presentation to UMT, I talk about when less is more and when more is desirable. Okay, I hope when they share the presentation, most of the content also I cover today, but slightly different. But I think we need to think about, can I do less, but actually less is more. Less content, but they can still achieve the learning outcome. They can still learn and even more effectively. But when more is desirable, so when more is desirable or desired, this is where we can give more. So this is something that we really need to be very creative about it. Okay. Now, this is something that I want to stress, and this is the point that I always share when I give any presentation. The change of mindset is necessary. Moving from face-to-face to online need a change of mindset as well, the mindset of online. So if you are still worried about covering the syllabus, which is understandable, we can still do that, but change the mindset of, instead of us, the lecturer, covering the syllabus for our student, why not now we design the course in such a way in the form of series of learning activities, series of assessment. Even when you do assessment, design the assessment as learning, design the assessment, as part of the learning process. So by designing the series of activities, and when the students perform those activities, the process actually would enable them to cover the content, to cover the syllabus. So now we are empowering the students to uncover. Rather than we cover, we let the students to uncover. That's a different, totally kind of flip. We flip the kind of the approach. So this, to me, I really like this concept. Yeah, flipping the way we approach the course design. And we can do this in a face-to-face situation as well as the online situation. So how to do that? Now, I want to look at what are the things we can do more, especially in the context of online class, online course. More activities for cognitive engagement. Remember, when we talk about engagement, we have cognitive engagement, we have behavioral engagement, and we have another behavioral engagement, we have emotional engagement, we have cognitive engagement, many different types of engagement. But cognitive is probably the large part of the course design. How do we design activities, series of activities in every lesson that would engage students cognitively? And this design is very important is because this is where the student would uncover the content, would uncover the syllabus. Okay. And what kind of activities? These activities must be suitable for low bandwidth. So I'll give you some examples shortly. Okay. So more activities. Now, example. Okay. I just pick one or two example only. When we talk about tools, yeah, when you want to design the activities, you need to use a tool. So I'm sharing one of my all-time favorite tool. It's called Socrative. I'm sure many of you already know Socrative and already using it. But for those who have not used or not even heard about Socrative, try it out. Okay. So you can go to this website, and I just want to demo to you. Kalau if I want to get you to do the activity, maybe it will take slightly longer time. I wish we can do more interactive here, but I want to shorten the time of this presentation. So now you can see the screen. On the left-hand side is actually a screen video capture. So I will play this video, and I want to show you how actually the students do, okay, on the phone. So the students sign in, put their name there. Then they can see the question. So there are 6 questions. And when they answer the question, they get the feedback. Okay, they get the feedback because I have prepared the feedback for each question. Whether they answer the question correct or incorrect, they will get a feedback. And this can be done even if I think if they have like 4 or 5 Mbps, there shouldn't be a problem for them to do the activity online. So this is one example of so-called quiz that we can do, quiz activity that we can do using Socrative, which is suitable for low bandwidth access by our students. We can see that the quiz probably looks simple, but I have been using Socrative for a long time, and I've got the feedback from students. They really appreciate because they can do this, as part of their learning process. And when they answer the question, they get a feedback. So the feedback itself, as you know, feedback is a very important and a very strongly encouraged. When they get feedback to the question, whether they answer correctly or incorrectly, that's where the learning starts to happen more and more. Okay. So when the students answer the question on my side, so this actually on the right, on this side is actually the student, the teacher side. I can see who have answered the question, and I can see the performance of the students, the score, the progress. Here, this one I can change the status to score. I can see their score, and I can see how good they are performing. The green color means correct answer. The red color means wrong answer. I can do item analysis even using Socrative easily. How good is that? Doing item analysis on the fly. A lot of people actually don't realize that Socrative is very powerful. When you do more of this activity, is it free to access? Yes, it's free. In fact, now I think you can sign up and you can get the Pro version until July. I think Socrative give until July where you can get the Pro features. Pro features you can set many different sessions and so on lah. The free punya ada limited sikit in terms of the number of session. But I've been using the free version of Socrates for a long time, and I really love it. Yeah, really love it. Because why? When the student do the activity, you can actually analyze their performance. You can see where the area of weakness, where the area you need to focus more after this, so whether they have a misconception. A lot of things you can get from a simple activity, low bandwidth type activity using a simple free tool, in this case, Socrates. So I may sound very enthusiastic because I really love Socrates. And I really want to encourage all of you to use this as part of your online course. So that's one example of how you can rethink your course design strategy. Okay. Now, the third one. So the first one just now is what? Knowing your student. The second one is rethink your course design or learning design strategy. The third one on the screen is rethink your content strategy. Well, the tendency for most people is to make this mistake, and that is understandable. Remember a few weeks ago when everyone has to go online, then the first thing we learned, hey, how do I, bring my content from the face-to-face to online? How do I convert the thing to PDF? How do I do the video? How do I create a video? How do I do this? How do I do that? So we focus too much on learning the tools and so on because we want to create content. Our mindset is still very much content-centric. Our mindset is still, even in the face-to-face, the 14 weeks, still by and large, the mindset is by and large, go to the classroom, put up the PowerPoint, and talk, give lecture, so that we can cover the syllabus by week 14. Still very much content. And I don't blame people for that because that's how, that we have been doing this for a long time. Then when we go online, we bring the same mindset. Hey, how do I transform my content into online? Please teach me how to create video, how to record a video, what kind of microphone should I get, right? Sounds very familiar, right? So now, I think we need to rethink our content strategy. We need a different approach, different strategies. Don't focus too much on content development. So how do we rethink about course strategy or content strategy in this case? So there are 4 things that I want to say here, I want to share here. First, create a low bandwidth version of your course. Remember, we are talking about low bandwidth. If you can cater for the low bandwidth, you can cater for the high bandwidth. Okay. Use micro-learning. Micro-learning, micro-credential, micro everything nowadays. And these people stop to talk about all these things, micro. I'm sorry, yes, micro-learning is another term that we need to know. We need to reduce the size of the content so that we can deliver it online in a more efficient manner, so that even those people with 1 Mbps or lower can still access. Well, another one is consider an audio-only course. Hey, we have the microphone in the WhatsApp. We rarely use that, right? In the Telegram and so on. It's now the time to use that. Audio only, why not? Especially if you have a very nice voice, like my voice now. Sorry, just joke. My voice is almost hopeless. But at least we have a voice, right? We have a voice. Or maybe even consider a text-only course. Text-only course. That's the last resort to reach out those with a very low internet connectivity. But reach them out somehow. Don't forget any of our students. So, it's already 1 hour. Okay, I have a few more. So, how do we create a low bandwidth version of your course? How do we create a low bandwidth version of the course? So now maybe we say, okay, what about, can we use WhatsApp or Telegram? Yes, we can use WhatsApp and Telegram now. So we can create a group for our student and we design the course for them. Okay. So I'm not going to walk you step by step. It's not a tutorial and we don't have much time, but just telling you the concept and the strategy. But if you're interested to learn the step by step, feel free to go to this video on my channel. The link is given again on the last slide. Teaching using WhatsApp or Telegram in COVID-19 time, delivering low bandwidth content to everyone with a phone but poor internet connection. I have not done teaching using WhatsApp fully because this semester I'm not teaching, but I've been using WhatsApp as part of my flipped classroom for a long time, maybe more than 5 years or maybe more, okay, since the WhatsApp exists. So I've been using WhatsApp a lot as part of my flipped classroom. So, but I've not done it for really to deliver the online class fully, but it's possible, okay? So please watch this video. I have shared more here how to do it, how to go about it. And if you want to learn how to create a complete short lesson using WhatsApp or Telegram, there is another video. Again, the link is given in this presentation. Don't worry, you can just click that and it will take you to this video. Okay, and in this video, I have described step by step how to create a short lesson using WhatsApp or Telegram. When feasible, baca Ena from UTP, right? Prof, when feasible, please share your expertise on teaching using WhatsApp or Telegram. Please share the link. Oh yes, Ena, this is what I'm sharing now on the screen. And this is actually the full video, I think about 20 minutes. The link is given on the last slide, yeah? I'll give you the link to download the slide and all the link to all the resources that I'm sharing will be there. So you just download the PDF, click the link and it will take you to the video. Okay, don't worry. So, okay. For low bandwidth, if you want to deliver your lesson using WhatsApp or Telegram, some people ask, oh, between WhatsApp and Telegram, which one better? So if you see the data just now, it seems that a lot of people on WhatsApp rather than on Telegram. But in terms of delivering online lesson or lesson through WhatsApp or Telegram, a lot of people say that Telegram is better because they have more features. I don't know, I've used Telegram before, but now I don't communicate much to Telegram. I communicate almost 100% through WhatsApp. So feel free to explore. And there's one article here, 11 reasons why you should use Telegram instead of WhatsApp. 11 reasons. And it seems that the reasons are quite good. So we can decide, yeah? We can decide whether you want to use WhatsApp, Telegram, but the concept of design is the same. I want to show you very quickly. This is my WhatsApp. Can you see my WhatsApp on the screen? Anyone?
No, Prof.
No, cannot find it. I cannot see it.
Cannot see it. Okay, cannot see it. Because I'm sharing the screen.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, now we can see it, Prof.
You can see the slide, but not my WhatsApp, right?
We can see the
We can see
WhatsApp.
the slide and we can see the WhatsApp. Well,
Can see the WhatsApp.
Okay, now you can see.
Okay, can see.
Oh, mungkin ada lag, mungkin ada delay sikit. Alright, this example, this one a very simple one. You can have your slide. If you really need to use your slide, convert your slide to image. And the size of the image, I think it should be okay. But if you want to compress the image further, there are many free applications that you can use on the web. You can reduce the image further. Then you can have a short explanation, short narration using a microphone like this. And you can start talking. So let me show an example. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and hello. Just as simple as that. And I've seen many USM staff using it now. I'm sure many of you also using this. It's not something new. But we can actually properly design so that it becomes a standalone lesson, complete with the content, complete with learning objective, learning outcome, complete with the short synopsis, complete with the PowerPoint, maybe give them the content, maybe some activities, maybe some assessment. So example like this, yeah. This one, more complete lesson here, a small lesson, of course. And remember the concept of micro learning. You want to deliver and chunk the content, chop the content, so to speak, in the short, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I would say 10 minutes would be nice, but if you need to extend it, like 15 minutes. So, let's say this course, the name of the course, then tell them how long this course will take. So let's say approximately 50 minutes. What is this lesson about? The topic of this lesson. In one learning outcome, maybe we have 3-4 topics, right? In one topic, we probably have a number of lessons. So we have the topic, we have the lesson. Okay. So we have to put this so that the students, because they are getting chunk by chunk, portion by portion. So we don't want the student to kind of feeling lost. This is part of what? This is what lesson, So we need to show them the mapping or where they are. So that's why we need to give this information. So what are the learning outcomes? So since this 15 minutes lesson, so you don't want to cover too much. So only 2 learning outcome here. Then you start giving some content maybe, okay, like this. And you have also a video. And if you want to deliver a video through WhatsApp or Telegram, you must optimize that video for Telegram or WhatsApp, meaning that the file size must be very small. I would say aim for 10 megabyte or less, even less than 5 megabyte. If you convert that to 360 or 480p, you can actually get less, even lower than 10 megabyte or even to make 5 megabyte. Okay, I have a video showing this. Then maybe some audio using the WhatsApp microphone. Then maybe some activity, okay, and some more audio, and maybe attach 2 pages, 3 pages notes, 1 page, 2 pages note related to the learning outcome, related to the content, and maybe more audio, and then some discussion, reflection, and so on and so forth. So that is a simple example. If we put our thinking process into designing the lesson just like we design the lesson in our class. In fact, actually, we can design a good lesson online even better than what we can deliver on face-to-face. Okay, so that's a quick example how we design the lesson in WhatsApp or Telegram. The second thing that I want to say here, when we design content or instructional strategy for our online course or low bandwidth, use a micro learning approach. What's the meaning of micro learning? So this is giving less, but at the same time more. Okay, what does it mean? Less content. Okay, can we reduce the content so that we give only the most critical, the most essential content? It's not easy, right? But we need to do it. Okay. Remember, don't focus on covering the syllabus, but empower the students to uncover it. To me, focus more on the activities, less on content. Once again, focus more on activities, less on content. Okay. Now, we need to really decide what is it based on our learning outcome. What is the core material, the core content that we want to deliver online now? Given the situation now, given the low bandwidth requirement of our students, in fact, some has no internet connection at all. So we need to trim or to sort which content is the most essential, most critical, which is important but not critical. Okay, so we can use this matrix that we are probably very familiar. The importance and the urgent thing. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Effective People. Okay, so go for urgent and important, critical and important. Choose the content that must have. This is the thing that you want to now deliver, either through WhatsApp, Telegram, or through web browser and so on. Okay, but if it's important, not urgent, not important. These two, important, not urgent, urgent, not important, you can design this as a reading activities, design this as learning activities, reading activities, watching a video, do some, survey, things like that. So by doing that, they can still learn the content, but more on like learning, self-directed learning or self-regulated learning kind of activities. But the content that you want to prioritize is the one that is the most urgent, the most critical, and the most important, the must have. Okay, now less content, but choose the most critical and the most important. So how do you design content, deliver more for less? Okay, so this is what we call bite-sized learning or micro-learning. It's basically the process of learning through short, digestible, and well-planned units. Just like a bits of biscuits like this. Like nowadays we have a small biscuit or small kind of bite-sized thing that you can put in your mouth and you can swallow. You can, quickly chew and swallow. Okay, so that's the concept of bite-sized learning. So, and this is good because online, the concentration span of students, of adult students are very short. Microsoft's survey has shown that it's about 8 seconds, as short as a goldfish. Last time they said about 4 minutes. Many years ago, they said 20 minutes. So it's become shorter and shorter, And like this webinar now, you are listening to me, but how many of you can really focus? Maybe some of you are doing other things, you're in other windows, checking your email and things like that. But that's the reality of online learning. We don't have control in terms of what the students actually do, but we can do our best to design in such a way to cater for the short concentration span. Okay, by chunking our material into small piece of material. And deliver it to the various media. Okay, I want to show you example of micro lesson, and some of you probably have seen this. Okay, if you want to experience example of micro lesson here, feel free to go to your phone and go to that link bit.ly/jom-buat-jam. Some of you some of you have seen this module, but while you are trying that, I have a short video here. So this is how my module looks like. Very short. It can be done within 5 minutes or less. Okay, and again, if you want to try, you can go to this link. Yeah. So at the same time, I'm demonstrating on the screen how from the student side, how it looks like. Okay, so this is about 2 minutes video. I just want to show how the students go through the lesson, and they can watch the video. And at the same time.
Welcome back to Your Time Cracker Jacks. Today, I'm going to show you how to make small batch strawberry jam. This is super simple. Only requires 3 ingredients. There's no need for any pectin. There's no need for any gelatin. There's no need for.
Okay, and the student can also read. If they don't want to watch the video, they can read.
Now, once you get all of your strawberries chopped and chopped,
so there are 9 steps in this. This one is more like skill-based. Okay, so the student will go through step by step. So I assume they will watch the video. The video is very short, 1 to 1 to 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay, done. Now there are some short assessment. Two or three questions. Two questions just for illustration. Okay. So they will answer the questions, then they submit, and they will get feedback. Whether the question is correct or incorrect, they will get feedback. And they go to the second questions, answer, submit, then they will get also feedback. Then, yeah, 100%. Be very clever student here. That's how simple you can deliver a lesson like this using a browser-based application. You can use Google Site. I love Google Site to design my online lesson, online training, online workshop. I use Google Site. But of course, the example that I'm showing you here is using another application, but you can design similar thing using Google Site, and you can embed the Google form like the survey that you did earlier in this presentation. You can embed Google Slide, you can embed Google Form, you can embed Google Doc, everything in one small lesson using Google Site. Yeah, using Google Site. Let me quickly show you how it looks like in the browser. Okay, can you see my browser?
Yes.
Can you? So let me show you one example of my course that I designed using Google Site. Okay, this is a real course, yeah? This is a real course using just Google Site. And the beauty, the good thing about Google Site, the student can watch on can see on their phone, just like the example that I've shown you just now. So in this Google Site, I have picture, this picture can be a slide. No, I have a video. This one is actually my PowerPoint on SlideShare that I just embed inside here. I have also picture here, and these are the activities that the students can do. Everything using the phone, and this is suitable for low bandwidth. Very suitable for low bandwidth. It doesn't. They don't need to have a high bandwidth for this type of micro learning that you can design for them. Yeah. Okay. Back to my slide. So that's an example of micro lesson. But how to create a micro lesson or micro content? So these are some of the steps. And again, I have a video which I have given the link also. You can find on the slide later. A video explaining how to create a micro lesson, but basically these are the steps. And you will have this slide, don't worry. So you just go through, but I don't want to spend time to explain too much, but basically we want to create micro lesson for rapid creation format, okay? And make it short, break up the content into small granular lesson. You can make it engaging, like the example I've shown just now, make it visual, add the video, make it fun and effective, and there is some form of assessment as well, okay? Well, if you cannot do video, or if you cannot do a lesson like example that I've shown just now, why not deliver your lesson through podcast, audio, yeah? So again, I have explained in detail in this video, which you can find the link also on the slide later on. Create a lesson with podcast. Oh, I love podcasts. I started doing podcasts a long time ago, but I don't do it seriously. But I've started exploring podcasts many years ago. But now I find it useful now. If you want to deliver content for low bandwidth, podcast is just beautiful. As easy as pressing the audio, the microphone in your WhatsApp or your Telegram. But if you want to do a proper one, use a podcast application. So far the best I can find, free and very good one is called Anchor. Anchor. And in this video, I have shown you how to use Anchor. So please watch this video on my YouTube channel, and I've given the link also. So Anchor, just sign up for Anchor, and you can start, or you can download the app or on your phone, and you can start doing podcasts in no time. Believe me, it's so easy. Okay, it's so easy. So this is an example of how the students, you can try now if you like. That's the link if you want to try on your phone. Okay, if you want to try on your phone. But I want to show you how the students see my podcast content on their phone. So I will play this video. Why students smoke and what you can do about it. This is a very interesting topic and also very important, especially for educators. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. My name is Karim, Alias. In this podcast, I would like to talk about a very interesting topic to me about learning that sticks, tricks of the trade. Well, it's not really. Okay, so you see, very nice kind of thing, podcast. You have the tajo here, the title, you have the label here, then some description about this particular podcast. And you can have a series of this to support your other content that you deliver through WhatsApp or through the website and so on. Yeah, so go for podcast. Very easy to create. You can do podcast while resting on the sofa, while lying on the bed. Seriously, it's so easy. Okay, so easy. So this is an example on the website. So this is how it looks like on the laptop. The good thing is I can get some statistic. How many people have listened to my podcast? Okay, so in fact, you can make money also. You can sell your podcast. I don't want to talk about that now, but you can also sell your podcast. Now, consider text only. Worst come to worst, deliver your content using text only. So you can, again, use WhatsApp or just text only because it's very, very light. Everyone can, even if they have less than 1 Mbps, 300 kbps also, they can get a text. If you want to use video, be mindful because you need to optimize the video for WhatsApp or Telegram. Even if you use Google Site to create a lesson, you might want to embed the video that has been optimized so that the student can view on their phone quickly. Okay. So again, I have one video explaining how to optimize video using for WhatsApp and Telegram. Again, please watch this video. I have shown step by step, like a tutorial, how to do this. Yeah, but basically it's very simple. The application that you can use is called ClipChamp Utilities. This is actually free web-based, nothing to download. And I've shown in the video how to use it. Basically, you upload your video and it will convert, and you can choose the format, whatever format that you want, whatever size that you want, and you can optimize the video suitable for your WhatsApp. Make it very efficient for students to watch. This is another tool, free, you can download for PC or for Mac. It's called Handbrake. It's actually a very, very popular small application to compress your video. If you want to compress your video, then use this one or this one, up to you. But this one you have to download to your computer. It's called Handbrake, available free for Mac or for PC. I've been using actually Handbrake for a long time. It's my favorite application. So I'm using the Mac version. This is how it looks like. Yeah. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, be creative. be creative. If you cannot, those students that have very, very poor connection or no connection at all, maybe we want to put our content now on the pen drive and send them, to for offline access. That's the least we can do, so that nobody is left behind, no one is deprived of learning. Or distribute on CD. I think CD might be problematic because nowadays laptop has no CD unless we buy the external CD. But at least they have USB drive, so we can, burn it on the pen drive and we can send. So as promised, all those resources that I've mentioned just now and more you can find on this slide. Okay. So when you download my PowerPoint in the PDF, so you can just click the link and it will take you to the to download or to the resources you can download. Yeah, by video on YouTube. And as a conclusion, the take-home message, we need to start on the right footing. Don't stop complaining. We got to do it, so we have to move on. So the mindset must be right. Once you have a good mindset, the right mindset, you need to acquire a new skill set. Learn as much as you can. Don't get overwhelmed in terms of application of tools. Just 3 or 4, the most 5 tools. Cukup for the time being. The tool to create a video, the tool to compress the video, the tool to create podcasts. 3 or 4 tools. Cukup. Yeah. Then practice. So mindset, skill set, practice. Don't stop practicing. So once you learn the tool, create content. Create one after another. Find the time. Make a point. Because the more you practice, the more you find it easy until come a point where you can create content on the fly. On the fly. Literally on the fly. For example, you can create a podcast while lying on your bed. It's so easy. Okay. Number 2, have a content and learning design strategy for low bandwidth access. I have shared some ideas, but you can also explore further, read more. Okay. And finally, engagement. Whether we do for high bandwidth or low bandwidth, whether we use Telegram, we can still have some form of engagement. The difference is only the level of engagement. Okay. If the student can access our lesson on, let's say, Google Site, the example that I've shown you just now, so you can do more, and you can do more engagement. So it's about level of engagement. And remember, cognitive engagement, the behavioral engagement, the emotional engagement, the connection should be there. Okay. So keeping learners' interest using appropriate tools for low bandwidth access. Those are the 3 takeaway message. Finally, stay safe, all of you. And Steve Jobs, he says, stay hungry for knowledge. I know now it's 12:30, but we want to stay hungry for knowledge. We want to learn, read, write, and do. Okay. Apa ni, siapa tu, the start tu cerita tu, Yoda kata apa? Do. Try not do. Okay. And stay foolish, because if you stay foolish, you stay crazy, you'll be more creative. So stay foolish means, be crazy like the scientists. Yeah? And finally, from me, stay strong. We need all the strength. We need to gather all the strength that we have, because this is a difficult time. We need to juggle a lot of things. We need to help our students. We need to take care of our family. Ladies, we have to cook now. I know you are worried to, to cook at 12:30 now. So we need to juggle a lot of things. And I guess this is as promised. You want to take a picture maybe? This is actually the link that you need to download my slide. And feel free to use my slide to reuse, to recycle my slide, because most of my slides are Creative Commons license, meaning that you can use as you wish, except those slides containing the data which I capture from digital, from that work. So those, it's not mine. So that's why I don't put CC BY or Creative Commons on those slides. Yeah, but the rest of the slide is CC BY, mean you can use as you wish. I think that's about all. Maybe let's look at the question if you have. Yeah, the Izwan, boleh tengok question?
Boleh, Prof. Okay.
Boleh? Ada soalan tak ya?
There are many questions before, but
Oh, ada banyak
banyak
soalan ya?
tapi dah
Jenuh
kita
juga.
scroll up, scroll down lah.
Okay, jenuh juga nak jawab ni.
Maybe they can ask. Maybe they can ask you directly.
Okay.
Opening their speaker.
Okay, one by one. Okay, let me just, before you unmute, let me just pick up, if I can pick up from the top here.
Difference between Google Site and Google Classroom.
Difference between Google Site and Google Classroom. Oh, they are different. Google Classroom is like our learning platform. Okay, we call it LMS, Learning Management System. In UUM, you are using apa? Moodle.
Moodle, Prof.
You are using Moodle.
Yeah, Moodle.
So Google Classroom is just like Moodle, but they are simpler. So they are more like learning management system. Google Site is basically a website. Okay, a website. But you can create Google Site. Nothing much to learn. If you have not used Google Site, you can create one site within 10 minutes. It's so easy to use. Ada buat training tentang Google Site di UM tak?
This year not yet, Prof. Last year we have one lecture on Google Site.
Okay, let me just quickly show. Bukan nak tunjuk macam mana nak buat ya, but I want to show some of you are not familiar. Boleh nampak saya punya screen ya? Boleh?
Boleh.
Okay, I just want to go to my Google Site. Okay, you all can see. Wow, so many sites I have created on Google Site. Let me just pick one example here. So this is my Google Site. Okay, you can create very beautiful course using Google Site. Every lesson, actually, you can create a site. For example, this one is actually a very comprehensive module using Google Site. Of course, I'm going to show you how to do it, but I just want to show how it looks like when you design a course. You can design the whole course, or you can design just one lesson using Google Site. So you can embed a video, you can have, okay, like this, Unit 1, for example, you can see Unit 1, okay, Unit 2, okay, what do you know about online? Okay, Unit 2, what do you know about online course? All right, yeah, I'm feeling very generous, so I want to give you this course. So I will copy this now. I will make it short. I'm giving you the whole course. worth 3,000 ringgit. Okay. All right. Now let me copy the link. This link will take you to the course, yeah? Oosh, sorry, copy. Okay. Back to my slides. Let me insert new slide. Okay, can you see slide? Okay, that's the link. Make it full screen. Okay, that's a link. Take a picture. And this link will take you to my comprehensive module on micro-credential. If you want, don't worry about what is micro-credential, but you can see from this module how you can use Google Site to design a very comprehensive online course. And I want you to look at this course on your phone, because you can design such a similar course using Google Site suitable for low bandwidth for your student. So that's why I'm giving you this example, okay? All right, so comprehensive module on to, okay, I'll try to pick up the question here.
Prof,
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
how do we keep track of the students' attendance and participations if we use WhatsApp?
Good question. There's a, if there is a requirement, if there is a requirement to capture or to record the attendance as required maybe by the university, or now I heard the GPT, KPM also want to monitor the attendance, then you have to find ways to record the attendance. I don't have the, in USM now, we are using our learning platform, which is the same Moodle. So we have the system integrated. The system integrated in the LMS Moodle to capture the attendance. But if you are using WhatsApp, if one way is to design activities, if you remember Socrative just now, okay, you can design the activities where the student have to do the quiz in Socrative. So let me go back to Socrative just now. Where is my Socrative? Here. So if you look at this one, so you can see the name of the students, right, on the left hand side here. So this can be used as an evidence of the student attendance by designing activities. Although we deliver this through WhatsApp, in the WhatsApp we give them the link. They click the link and it will take them to this website, and they should be able, even with low bandwidth, even at 1 Mbps, they can still access this type of activity on the website. Okay, so this can be used as an evidence, yeah, of attendance. The least we can do. Okay, jawapan tu. One way to record. Okay, those who want to unmute the microphone to ask me directly, please feel free. While I'm trying to look at, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just asking about how do you address the issue of integrating external tools like Socrative into an official LMS, especially for purposes of grading system? Or do you just use Socrative for formative purposes only?
Yeah, I use Socrative mainly for formative assessment. But I have also used Socrative for to conduct tests. So yeah, you can use for mainly for formative assessment. But if you choose to use Socrative also for things like tests, for example, you can also use Socrative, because in Socrates, when you design the question, you can actually randomize, just like in your Moodle, you can randomize the question, you can randomize the answers, but for the free version, you cannot apa ni, control I mean, you cannot control the time for each question, yeah, for the free version. I think for the paid version, you can do that. Yeah. So I would encourage all of you who have not used Socrates to try it out, because to me, to design a quiz, we can still design the question for low order or high order thinking. Lots of hots in Bloom taxonomy. There are many ways we can design good questions, and even for formative assessment, we can really do a very meaningful formative assessment using Socrates or using any quiz tool. Yeah. Actually, there's another one. I'm sure most of you also know, quizzes. I like also quizzes. Very quickly, Quizlet. Sorry, Quizlet. Quizzes also, but I'm more for Quizlet actually. My personal preference. I use Quizlet also a lot with my students. You can see here. So you can create a lot of learning activities with your students, and you can just give the link in WhatsApp as part of the formative assessment. Okay, this is also suitable for low bandwidth, but you must try out with your students and see whether they have issues to access or not. But from my experience, no problem. But your experience and my experience probably will be different, right? Okay. Yeah, go ahead if you want to ask me.
Prof,
Yeah.
untuk WhatsApp dan Telegram, katalah kita sediakan macam Prof tadi kan, kita bagi soalan, bagi video dan kita buat audio sikit, explain, dan dia akan jawab soalan. So macam kita nak bagi markah atau ada rubrik tak untuk kita macam frekuensi dia masuk, frekuensi dia jawab, how to what extent dia participate in that kind of first lesson. Ada Prof buat?
Because those questions are designed as formative, so we don't really record the score per se. But if you give some marks on the participation overall, you can base on number of activities that you have designed for them. So you can give overall mark in terms of their participation, rather than in terms of the individual.
Kita buat manually je lah kan?
Yeah, we can do manually lah.
Manually kita kira berapa.
Yeah, and we can have a rubric in terms of the
frequency of
the yeah. I think
question kan?
I'm sure you have seen that, right? So
macam saya buat tu, saya hanya buat satu macam Excel sheet, saya macam tanda budak ni berapa kali dia sampuk ke.
Yeah.
And group kan, and then dia punya level of answers tu macam high order ke low order ke macam tu.
Exactly. There are many example of rubric for online activity or online participation, in terms of frequency, in terms of their responsiveness, in terms of their degree of participation. Bila dia jawab tu, when they answer or when they respond, they give a very deep, kind of very thoughtful answer. And not only that, they will share additional resources. So we can do that as well. Any more?
Prof, what is the ideal size of a podcast in terms of size or in terms of length?
In terms of size, not so much in terms of file size, because if you use Anchor application, if I go to Anchor now, Anchor FM. If you use Anchor and you share in the WhatsApp, let me. Oh, by the way, so much I want to share. Do you know the trick? If you use WhatsApp, you can create, you can send something to yourself. Do you know? You can create one group. For example, in this one, you can see my WhatsApp. Can you see my WhatsApp now? I call it just me. So this is actually a group with one member, just me. So the trick to create one, just create the group as normal. Then add someone, maybe add your sister or your brother. Then you delete that, yeah. So when you delete the person, only you left in the group. So this is actually a good trick because I can send myself things that maybe I want to test out. So I send to myself, and I want to see how students look, how students see it on their phone. So for example here, I send this podcast to myself, okay? Then when I click, it will take me to the website, to Anchor website, which is this one. When we create podcasts, it's so much of the file size, but the time, the duration of the podcast. How long is your podcast? So make it very short. I would say again between 3 to 5 minutes podcast. Don't make it too long. So it's not the file size, but the duration. Just like a video, but video you have to take care of the file size as well as the duration. The file size should be less than 10 megabyte, or even 5 megabyte less. Then the duration should be between 3 to 5 minutes. For podcast, look at the time. Limit to 3 to 5 minutes podcast, the duration. Okay. All right. So okay, there are okay, let me pick up. There are so many, then I get confused on which one question, which one is a comment. Okay, I don't see question anymore, like a comment. So if there is any burning question that you want to ask, go ahead and unmute your microphone. I don't know how many people are still around. Oh, is it? Salam. Yeah.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Prof, I want to ask your strategy, Prof. I think
Who is this? From where?
Mira from UIA, Prof.
UIA. Okay, go ahead, Mira. Dr. Mira.
Just want to ask, what's your strategy to sort of push the people that, our colleagues who are very skeptical with e-learning to start using, at least to try? Because I think my biggest challenge now is to sort of encourage those who are very skeptical with e-learning to at least try with some of the topics during this COVID. So many are still prefer to wait until we come back to campus, but I think this is as you said, this is a blessing in disguise. So how would you suggest, if you don't mind?
As I mentioned a few times in this presentation, right? It has to start with the changing the mindset. Something that is the most difficult to do, and I've been doing this. I've been the director of this center, CDAE, Center for Development of Academic Excellence, which is equivalent to UTLC in UM, since 2012, officially. But before that, we have started since like early 2000. So 2000 until now, 20 years. And I've been pushing for online learning, e-learning during that period, 20 years. And yet, I would say, before NCO, perhaps only the most 50% people are really doing some form of blended learning. Now maybe things are different because of terpaksa and people have to do it. Still, there are some people who, like you mentioned, that waiting for this to be over, they don't want to talk about online. We cannot help it. These are the most difficult, so-called the hardcore or the old habit die hard, things like that. The old school kind of thinking. We cannot blame them. They have reasons for that. But the least we can do is to continue give the motivation and give the why we have to do this, rather than forcing them to go into it, but rather try to explain the why behind it. Because if we are forcing them, they will just do it without the penghayatan, without the appreciation, the importance of it, the significance of it, and they will just do it just to fulfill the requirement. They won't go the extra mile. To me, if you are really understand online learning, you have to go the extra mile. The learning curve will be there. For those who have no experience on online learning, the learning curve can be steep. But once you get over that learning curve, you will start to appreciate. You will start to appreciate why online learning should be part and parcel of our course design. It's not just doing it to impress or to feel that, oh, you are educator 4.0. That's why I don't really like the term educator 4.0 and so on. Do it for a purpose. So just continue to sell the idea and produce the best course that you can, then use that as a showcase and tell them why online is no longer an option. That's my answer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, is there anybody using Nokia 3310 nowadays? Don't be surprised. There are people still using Nokia and they are happy with it. Nothing much we can do about it. Just they said, I'm happy with Nokia, so why not? Why should I change? Okay.
Prof, hi.
Yes.
I have a question here. I'm Hasina Ibrahim from Universiti Utara Malaysia.
Okay.
My first question is regarding we have like sometimes the textbook we are using, for example, like from a company like Yesel, where they have the same thing like what we are doing like online. For example, like you have the quiz where the student can use the quiz. They have like reshuffle the quiz, and then they can keep everything to see like the student level of understanding. So is that like kind of online learning also?
Yes. Yes. That is can be considered part of the part of online learning, but we are using a different platform. Platform is it can be any platform. It can be your own LMS. It can be the publisher's LMS. It can be a free platform like courses on Coursera and so on. Yeah, that is considered online. But the online learning that we are talking about today is we take the role as a course designer. We take the role as the course facilitator. So we are everything actually. We are the designer, we are the teacher, we are the instructor, we are the facilitator, we are everything. We have to take care also the social and the emotional aspect of the students. We are the counselor. We are basically the jack of all trades, basically, online. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Yes.
I'm Munusami from UUM. Previously, the assessment was based on like mid exams being controlled. But now under the online assessment, the controllability is not there. You understand, Prof?
Yes, you don't have
Okay.
control.
Your advice. Yeah,
In
yeah, I
terms
need
of,
your advice, Prof. Thank you.
yes. Yeah, online learning is not there are many aspects of online learning that is still evolving. It's not yet perfect. There are still many areas that we need to improve. For example, one of the common issues are the assessment. Formative assessment to me is not an issue. Some people say, hey, if you give them the quiz, then maybe they will copy or they will Google maybe. Well, to me, that's the whole point. You want them to do research. You want them to Google. You want them to read before they are able to answer the question. That's what we want. Because we don't really give the grade or the point or the markah there, right? But when the concern is more on who actually doing the thing, who actually perform the activity or doing the assessment. Is this the real student, or maybe they get someone to do it for them? Well, is this the thing that we need to worry at the moment? To me personally, I'm not so worried about that. Probably there will be people who do that. Probably there will be students who do that, but there will be a small number. The majority, they will not learn. So I think this is a time when we want to trust the student. And we want to teach our students, tell them that we trust them, tell them this is a time for them to teach them the integrity. So if you really have the integrity, do it. Integrity is about doing something when people don't look at what you are doing, right? So this is something that we need to register. We need to propound this idea again and again and continuously to our students. We need to empower them. We need to trust them. So when we question, then we meaning that we question about their integrity. But of course, there are people who will do that. Let them, let them. So I'm not so worried about that. These are the ongoing thing, still evolving. We need to find ways to address all these things. Yes.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Marzia from UUM.
Okay.
I want to ask you something that related to the creative side. For instance, we want to use some animation in our slides and we want to share to our students. So maybe we use like a YouTube live and so on. Is there going to be any dispute by the original graphic designers, or is it a safe way that we can deliver that graphic images without causing any dispute from creative control? Thank you very much.
Well, depends on if we are using, let's say, copyrighted material and we are doing online, just like what I'm doing now, to the public, not within a closed environment within our own class, then we need to be more careful because there might be an issue of copyright infringement, okay? Especially when we are using copyrighted material. If we are using for our own class, a class of 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, but our own students, and we are doing this within the WebEx environment like this or within our LMS, then we can still use the copyrighted material even though we don't get permission. So we can still be, we can fall under the scope, it can fall under the scope of fair use. Under the copyright law, there's something called fair use. Fair use means we are using copyrighted material, but we don't get a permission, but we still use it. Are we doing copyright infringement? Maybe not, because we are using it for purposes. We are using for education. We don't make profit of it. We only use a small amount from let's say we use only one chapter out of 20 chapters from the book, and we don't make profit out of it. We don't make money. So if we are using within the closed environment and for this purpose, for these four purposes, then it can come under the scope of fair use or fair dealing, fair use in our Copyright Act, Malaysia Copyright Act. Okay. So, but it's actually the issue of copyright. Don't worry so much about it. Learn how to address the issues. You can find one webinar that I did 2 weeks ago with our intellectual property lawyer. You can find it on my YouTube channel. There's a Q&A session just on copyright. Let me show you. This is my YouTube channel. So I want to invite all of you to come to my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and just type my name, ABD Karim Alias. Then search on YouTube, then you will come to this website. Yeah. So, oops, yeah. This is my channel. Okay. So
My name's Abdul Karim Alias.
yeah, and yeah, before I forget, subscribe to my channel. This is a video. This is a video. Can you see on the screen? Q&A session, understanding copyright and plagiarism. This is actually our lawyer, USM lawyer, who is also expert in intellectual property and copyright. So don't worry. We advise people, if you want to do online course or online class, first try to use pictures or video, everything, content from public domain first. Public domain. If you cannot use public domain, use the Creative Commons license. If you still cannot use this, you still want to use a copyright material, then don't worry so much. It can come under the fair use. It can be covered under fair use, which is for education, non-profit. You know, you take only a certain amount for the purpose of teaching. Okay. So there are a lot more things on my YouTube. As you can see, all the video that, for example, here, creating content for your online course, online class, some ideas for interactive activities, practical approach to online teaching and learning. How do I get beautiful icons for free? So a lot of things related to online class. So please visit my YouTube channel and subscribe as well, so that you can be notified for new content, and you get to learn details. I show you step by step how to do things. Yeah. All right. So well, I can still see a lot of people in this. So you're not worried about cooking. All right. Any more? Dr. Azwan, Izwan? Should I continue to or let them to answer to ask more questions? Go ahead, yeah, if you want to ask any questions before we wrap up this session. It's quite difficult for me to pick up the question because the chat is keep moving. If you want to ask, maybe you can ask now directly. I'm trying to look for question. So if there's no more question, I pass back to Dr. Dr. Izwan, yeah? Yeah, for dealing for non-profit research. Fair dealing for purposes of non-profit research, private study, etc. are permissible under Malaysian copyright law. Yeah, Dr. Khadijah. As long as you don't make money for education and you use the content in a small amount, there is no hard and fast rule. How small, how little is little, how much is not much. Yeah, we have to use our judgment. If let's say the book has 1,000 pages and you use only 20 pages, that can be considered small. Yeah.
Prof, one question from the participant. What would be the best way to teach if you have students located at few countries? For example, Indonesia, China, Jordan. This is This is if when we have postgraduate courses.
Well, those abroad, as long as the basic requirement is they still have the internet connection, right? So if they have the internet connection, then we can still use the same strategies that we use to design for the low bandwidth, or to design if we can deliver the lesson using the web browser. Because for student abroad, they might have a problem to access the learning management system because of the firewall issue and so on. So I think this is where you can use the browser-based. Google Site is perhaps to me the best. Even Google Classroom, if the university allow you to do that. Yeah. In USM, we don't stop people using other platform other than our own LMS. We give them freedom, especially now, because the main thing is they are able to reach out to the students. Itu yang penting. Okay, so the platform, the first one, of course, use our LMS. Otherwise, use any other platform as long as you can reach your student.
I think other than that, there are no more because most of the posting over there is requesting for the recorded session and also the PDF thing.
Then yeah, we can the asynchronous thing. If they can access to the platform, then you can provide the content in any form. In any form, you know, it can be the PDF, it can be in the video form. The video, as I mentioned, if you want them to download, make sure it is in the lowest possible format, 360 or 480p, and the small file size. You can watch this video. In this video, I show how to convert the video into the this one, optimizing video content for WhatsApp or Telegram. So you can find a lot of things on this website, on my channel. Feel free to explore. A lot of tutorial on this website. And if you want to learn or to know something that is not available on my channel, just send me a message through Facebook or through any of the video here, because I check the comment, I check the question every day, a few times a day. So if you send me a message through YouTube, I can still receive the message, because I have a small app. That I use to check my YouTube channel every day. Let me just show you. Share with you this app. If you are very active on YouTube, because some people ask me, you respond to my message on YouTube very fast. So do you check your YouTube channel every day? My answer is yes. And this is what you see. Can you see on the screen now? This is the one app on my phone where I can check everything that when people comment on my video, or when they ask question, or when they post anything on the YouTube or in one of my video. So I can actually check. I can get notification. I can check this a few times a day. So if there is a question, I will try to answer the question, promptly. So that's why if you want to connect with me on YouTube, feel free to put a comment in any of the video. If you want to request, let's say, okay, how do we do this? Then I will try to make a short tutorial for you. But maybe not that soon, but I will try to do it. All right, so, wow, it's already 1:15. No wonder I feel hungry. So I think the participant, maybe they have no more questions. Any comment on Zoom? Oh, someone asked me, Hussein Meadow. Any comment on Zoom? I know a lot of people are worried about Zoom. I'm not so worried. I have a paid version of Zoom. I subscribe to Zoom. Don't worry so much, because Zoom is doing their best to address the security issue, and they have actually give us some guidance what to do. There are some setting in our Zoom to control and to minimize the security issue. So don't worry so much. I'm not so worried. I will be still using Zoom.